Yo, might get it turned up in here, y'all. Coming up in this thing, going hot, going live. Yo, what's up? We back in this thing again, y'all. It's the J Mob Podcast number 2. Been coming live for a minute. I've been postponing this. I want to make sure I have my talking points together. We got some cool stuff to talk about. You know, it's Halloween time coming up. The end of this month, and we had about a week ago all the events started. Starting with the Fortnitemares, the Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Warzone, Zombie Royale. Both some cool events. They both got some similarities. We're gonna get into that and talk about that some. Also the usual, you know, I'm trying to integrate in my podcast. Just talk about some streamer development type stuff. How I've been developing, trying to get into streaming, maybe for any potential streamers or gamers who potentially want to become streamers and starting out in this thing. And esports news, we got a lot of stuff popping in that. You know, the Call of Duty esports league had their championship like a month or two ago. I know the Fortnite FNCS, they had their trios tournaments and stuff just recently as well, which I gotta be honest, I really hadn't watched neither of those live, but I kind of just been keeping up through like esports talk and different YouTubers and Twitter news. But some big news as far as Call of Duty, because they actually got like the franchise teams and the leagues in there, right? Fortnite is still kind of like just players grouping up to do trios and stuff like that. It's not, I don't really see no real like official orgs that have like their Fortnite teams. It's like more like freelancers and stuff, right? Other than like content creators that are with Fortnite. But when we get into the Call of Duty League, it's like they're trying to make their own city franchises and stuff like that. Of course, the most popular one being the Chicago Huntsmen. And Hex being the CEO of NRG, which owns them, who also recently bought the rights for Optic Gaming, who he was also the CEO of and has a big history in esports and Call of Duty, of course, with Nadeshot and Scump and a lot of big figures coming out of that org. Scump being the one that remains, also with like big names like Formal and some other amazing COD players in there. But buying the rights back, and we'll talk about that and who is going to take that CDL spot, right? Because he still looks to be staying with NRG, and they probably the CDL league is probably still going to want to keep the Huntsman brand being how popular and how much they've risen to fame within the first year of the CDL league being a thing. So we're going to talk about that and where that CDL spot is going to. I'll keep y'all on hold on that. Y'all might already seen the news, you know what I'm saying? This might not be nothing new for y'all, but I'm definitely turned about it, and we'll talk about that later as well. So let me hit a little transition up in here. Oh, yeah. We're going to break into it now, y'all. Let's talk about the Zombie Royale thing, you know what I'm saying? I played it, and first thing that turned me up about it was the skins. Those fucking skins are awesome. And of course, Fortnite this season, they've had their whole thing with their Marvel, bringing the IP in. And I love the crossovers. When you find like some real fucking cool movie, you find some comics or some shit, and you combine them with your favorite game, I think that is a match made in heaven. Like, I'm all for that. Some people are like, you know, it's kind of like a marketing thing. They're just trying to make money off the Marvel name. They're trying to make money off of, in this case, we're talking about Call of Duty, the Saw name or the Texas Chainsaw name. But when you put them into the game in a way that makes sense, like the way that Fortnite has married the comic kind of story thing into the Fortnite universe in a way that makes sense, and it's not just kind of like a cheesy kind of like a money grab, or kind of like I'm gonna use that name and not really put too much effort in it. I'm just gonna rely on that name to make the money for me. I think that's legit, and I think they did the skins justice in Call of Duty. And I mean, there's they I think something else, like the skins, you know what I'm saying, they don't give you special powers, you know what I'm saying, like you're not getting I don't know, different things. What would you put for Saul to really like make him like Jigsaw in the game? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have, maybe if you put like his own arena in there, like different traps and shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could go a little further with that. But the fact that they made blueprints in there, and so for anybody who really didn't have those weapons, maybe leveled up, like the Graw or the trying to think all the weapons they got blueprints for. I want to say his was for the Graw. And then he might have had a secondary, and like they both have like their kind of own melee type of weapons, which did really make sense in Texas Chainsaw Massacre's case. I want to say there was a chainsaw thing. I would pull this shit up and everything, and we could see right now, but I'm just kind of setting up this podcast just to be like, just a straight up, I'm just chilling, I'm just talking. I'm not really pulling up a bunch of video and shit like that. But they both got their own melee stuff, and I want to say Saul's gun skin his blueprint is for the Graw, and then Texas has one for the MP5. Those two are like some of my favorite guns right there. So they did legit, like they picked the most popular guns. They made blueprints for them. So probably most people did have those guns leveled up enough to where they could use the attachments in those blueprints. But say if they didn't, and maybe there's some people coming late to the game now, and they're crunk about those themes and those skins, and now they got a weapon they can use with these blueprints too as well. So I think that's pretty legit, because then it does add like kind of more of a purpose other than looking cool. Now you got some fucking guns too to go with it, that some attachments that are going to make your gameplay, you know, that much funner. Because I mean, with the attachments and all the kind of loadouts and stuff in Call of Duty, like it is fun just playing with different attachments and stuff. Like even there's some of them that aren't meta, but maybe you're going to change it up a little bit just to kind of bring some kind of freshness to the game, you know what I'm saying? Try some different weapons out, might not be meta, some types, or just some different, you know, weapons within the same class that you like fucking with, assault rifles or SMGs, you know. So that's what's up right there to me. And then we'll get into the Fortnitemares. We got some shit to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So the Fortnitemares. Now, I know there's been some talk about, we're kind of gonna bridge off of what we talked about with Call of Duty, because I didn't talk about as much of the gameplay. I was kind of more on the skins and shit on there. But as far as gameplay, I'm gonna compare Fortnitemares to the Modern Warzone. As I talk about Nightmares, I'm gonna incorporate some gameplay stuff from the Zombie Royale. But I want to bring Nightmares first, and then I'll backtrack to the Zombie Royale. So the main thing with Fortnite's event, of course, they have skins all the time, so that's not really a thing, right, that we have to talk about. They have cool skins, but honestly, like the Fortnite skins for Halloween haven't really impressed me as much. I was definitely a lot more excited about the COD skins. And Fortnite, I've been already turned about the Marvel shit. Like, if I'm looking for skins in Fortnite, I'm looking for Marvel shit this season. The other stuff is kind of like, whatever. But the Zombie Royale mode, of course, you start off like a regular match, and then when you die, you become a ghost. It's not even really a zombie, it's a ghost, right? It's like a Midas Shadow, I guess they're calling it. And they got some cool like little abilities, like the radar. They have a kind of little jump that's not really timed. They do their little like hand swipes, you know what I'm saying? Attacks kind of call you to death. That's how you're gonna get your kills. And then to get your life, to regen your life, to regenerate life, you eat loot. So you kill somebody, maybe you took like 70 damage, whatever, and now you whatever that shit they drop, their guns and all that, you can eat it and you can get back up to 100 health, and there's no shield. So it's not like your regular person you're trying to get shield and nothing like that, but you can eat the gun and you'll get health. And from what I've seen, the loot verities don't seem to play much of a difference. I don't know if they do. It's not significant, so it's not like you're gonna eat like a freaking gold gun and then you're gonna freaking get filled up all shit right away. So you do that. Now the controversial part about what they did with that is that when you kill people, you can't come back. So some people have kind of given up on once they become a zombie. They're like, fuck it, I just don't, the part that I play in the match isn't that significant because I can't come back and win as a regular player. Of course, like, you're gonna come like a bunch of swarm of zombies, you're gonna take out the rest of the regular players, but you still don't really get a win. You can get like what they'll call a nightmare royale win if you survive to the end as a zombie, but you've also probably survived like how many other zombies. It's not like you can even kill the other zombies, so you're the only one left, so it doesn't feel as significant. Now whereas with zombie royale in COD, you can come back after 2 kills. So a lot of people kind of wanted something like that, I feel, in Fortnite, and it didn't happen. So maybe some people are salty about that. And now you'll see in the lobbies where at the end of the match, you should really have, you know, a good amount of zombies left compared to the regular players. And it makes it fun to me if you are a regular player and you're having to fight all these zombies. Like, it feels like a fucking a survival zombie mode in COD, but in the Royale universe, because you just fighting these fucking hordes. And so it feels cool as a player, but then when you're a zombie, I guess it kind of gets boring a little bit. But it's just something different, you know, for a timed event. And maybe they should have did it just kind of as a timed event. I don't know if they felt like they would have trouble filling up that lobby or that mode if it was just a timed event, and so they just choose to make it the main mode. I think some people kind of were like off put by that a little bit too, because in COD it is the zombie royale in there is just like a timed event mode. You can still do the regular royale too, so that's kind of a difference too. I enjoy both of them for their differences and for their bringing something fresh to the game. So I'm okay with both of them, but there probably is some little things that Fortnite could have done different. I don't know, as far as COD side, I think they did pretty well with theirs, other than maybe they didn't bring different POIs. They haven't seemed to really go all in as far as that goes with the live events, as far as bringing POIs and bosses and stuff like that, like Fortnite does, which is something else that's really cool with Fortnite that they do that COD doesn't. So they got the Midas boss there now in the ruins, which overtook the Authority, and you can go kill Midas and you can get his minigun, and which is pretty OP. I got fucked up with that shit in one of my highlights. You can see on the on my YouTube, it's over there. I got fucked up by fucking Mystique, who had this shit and fucked my ass up. Go over my YouTube and go into the Fortnite highlights and watch that shit. It's funny as hell. But yeah, so I mean, they got the POIs in Fortnite, and then in COD they just kind of went, okay, we're gonna do a night royale mode, and we're gonna let you become a zombie instead of going to the gulag. You kill 2 people with your zombie, and now your zombie powers in COD to me are more powerful than your ghost powers in Fortnite. They got the freaking super fucking charge jump that goes over buildings and shit, like your goddamn Spider-Man or some crazy shit, some fucking just superhero shit. And then they don't really have a radar thing, I want to say. Do they have some radar shit? I think that's a Fortnite shit. I don't remember fucking with no radar, kind of UAV bullshit in our COD. But you jump over the fucking buildings and shit, you can pretty much see people on your radar. You do have the radar to help track people down. And That being said, I think with Ghost or something, man, I've been a zombie in COD and just been fucking sniped out of nowhere, or just have a person fucking rush me out of nowhere. So I don't know how how they're fucking with the radar with that shit, how accurate that is, but I know I've been crept up on that motherfucker. I've been pissed as hell. So, but yeah, like the with COD, I hope they do some kind of more live events. Maybe I don't know if in that type of game or that type of arena or category we're talking about with COD, if they can pull off something like that with POIs and bosses or something into the map, like they do with Fortnite. I don't know if that's ever gonna be like a thing or possibility, but that's why it's nice to have the contrast in games. And they went big on the zombie powers, and like they made the zombie experience better in COD though, playing the zombie for sure than they did with Fortnite. But also Fortnite brought more experience as being a player, more variety, and going for the boss, for the different bosses, like adding Shadow Midas in there. And now we can talk about loot for both of these events. They did good with like giving you rewards to go for. And of course with Fortnite, it was a lot easier for me to fucking go hammer out the challenges. They're still doing challenges like every 3 days. They give you like 3 more rewards to go for. And they had stuff like possess a vehicle and do 100 damage. I went to fucking Starks and got a fucking whiplash and just ran over a robot, 100 damage. Boom, got that challenge. And of course one of them was kill Shadow Midas, which I got in a duo with J-Mob Jr. and we fucking knocked him out like on the first try. And so there were stuff that was realistic to go for, some that could be a little bit challenging, some not. But with Fortnite, I always love being able to knock out the challenges. Now with COD, it was a whole different story. I'm not even like, I'm maybe halfway close. They give you all your challenges up front, as far as like the difference with Fortnite being timed events or timed releases. They give you all the things up front. In COD, I want to say both of these events are lasting into November. I know Fortnite is like November 3rd, so they're gonna go a little bit after Halloween. But Fortnite did all their stuff right up front, and they put all the loot scattered across the map, like one for main POI, pre-existing POI that was already there. Like you go to the superstore or you go to the dam, shit like that. But their chests, you know, these locations are fucking big. They're massive locations, some like downtown with shit ton of buildings. And it's not like you're just like, I don't think they're RNG, right? Because I've been through downtown so far, haven't gotten that one yet. The smaller locations, it was hard to find because there's only so many chests you have to search before you get to the chest that is the chest. It's not like an RNG chest. So I gotta look up still probably where the specific destinations within those locations are for the chest that has the loot, not just chests that are kind of random. It's not like you just if you search, like say there's 20 fucking chests and 1 in 5 out of those 20 chests in that location are gonna be a Halloween loot special box. It's like, no, there's 20 fucking chests and one of those boxes is a Halloween box. So I have some work to do there. And then it's the other thing that's different gameplay wise from Fortnitemares to COD Zombie Royale is that in that specific Zombie Royale mode, you start off with a lot smaller circle. So it pushes the action in the matches and the ferocity of the zombies and shit a lot harder in that mode. So you're dropping into these locations with a lot more people on that POI because of the smaller circle. People are not going to go as far out. Even if they land outside of the original circle, like if they're trying to last in the match, they're not going to go too far outside of the circle. Like there's still going to be a reasonable distance to make it back. So your POIs are a lot fucking hotter. And then they turn into zombies that, you know, sometimes feel OP. Like I kill zombies in Fortnitemares like no problem. But in COD, it can feel a lot more OP, and these motherfuckers can jump, just fucking land on your head and fuck your ass up. You do also have the gas. I didn't mention this, but you do have the gas grenade and the EMP, which they don't really feel OP in themselves. It's more like the jump that can close the distance really quick. I've even had motherfuckers slide with the fucking zombie and get under my fire and just fucking claw my face to death. So those kind of movement mechanics are a lot better with the zombie Royale as far as the zombie goes, and they can feel like OP a little bit sometimes. But yeah, but I've had fun with both of those modes. Regardless, I'm still gonna try to go for the rest of that loot in COD Zombie Royale. I already got I still got more loot to get, obviously, with Fort Nightmares. I've gotten the loot up to this point, but as more releases, I'm gonna go for it, and I have some fun with that. So it's just really fun, like seasonal shit. Like I never really fucked with the seasonal events like this in gaming until really getting into it this year. Of course, this year being really my first year going hard into gaming and streaming, and so we can kind of bridge into streaming journey and development. But yeah, so we're hitting this segment, and streaming journey and development. Talking about this being my first year really going hard with gaming and trying to push into streaming, specifically PC gaming in of itself. My first year being this year. Here we go, another track. Yeah. I've been like, probably started Xbox 360. I went hard with gaming, and after that it was PlayStation 4, and then the next generation I never had an Xbox One. I always went PlayStation 4. I had to sell it at one point. Got another PlayStation 4, back and forth like that. I think I had to sell that one. I got another PlayStation 4, on and off throughout the whole generation of the PlayStation 4. But never been able to get into streaming. Always wanted to get a PC so I could get into streaming. But I think when streaming really first launched, a lot of people were still like with the console, going into capture card and just using the PC as streaming. I think there's a good bit of people. I don't know if I could say most people are doing that, but I think most people I was watching was doing that. There was games, especially like Call of Duty, that really wasn't big on PC or didn't have big communities. And Destiny even, I don't think was on PC for a while. And so people were using their consoles to play the game and stream off the PC. So that's kind of where I saw myself at the time. I never really thought about PC gaming until this year when I got a laptop and just playing Hearthstone. And I thought, well, I'm gonna stream. I have a gaming laptop, maybe it'd be enough to stream. And I found its limitations just playing games that I wasn't necessarily planning on streaming, but I wanted to be able to play on high settings. And so I sold I put it in a pawn shop, the laptop, and went hard to get like a good mid-tier PC to stream, and followed suit. Just slowly built up all my streaming setup with the camera and the lights and everything. So now really it's just been about getting my routine down. And the first few months when I really try to brand myself and everything, I was using Streamlabs. I kind of talked about some of my equipment and everything like that in the last podcast, so I won't really try to rehash too much of it. But I don't think I talked about as far as software wise. I was using Streamlabs, and I got a year subscription and everything for Streamlabs Premium or Premiere. And Streamlabs definitely sets you up as a beginner with putting everything in your fingertips. All the plugins and everything are right there already. They're not installed, but they're right there. You just hit a button and it's installed. As far as with just plain OBS, you gotta find your plugins on the website and do different stuff and initiate your plugins into the interface and different things like that. I'm not gonna say it's really hard, but it's not as intuitive or as user friendly UI as Streamlabs. It just kind of sets everything up right there for you. And I feel also their interface is kind of smoother, easier to use, just because of the way they put all their windows and everything on the screen for you. But I ran into a lot of technical issues with Streamlabs, and I think it was really a lot of the extra stuff that they put into the software and a lot of extra stuff that I was using from the software. It put too much strain on my encoding or just pumping my stuff out. I had so many different issues just trying to tweak it, try this and try that, and still having issues on the streams coming out. So where I was just like, I gotta find something else. So I heard a lot of good stuff with Stream Elements, and that's what I'm using now. All my overlays, I just got them from Stream Elements, and just learn how to tweak them out and just edit them and add my own little things in there. Like right now, I'm using the seasonal decorations from Stream Elements. But I've gotten other like pictures and stuff for my starting and break and ending screens, like little COD people and shit like that, and put them in there. And I still had to learn, which is pretty much the same like Streamlabs and OBS. They still got their same little things like with filters and stuff like that. That kind of carries over. So I still got like, I knew how to use chroma key and stuff like that from Streamlabs, and I use that. And really what is OBS now, but it's called like Stream Elements OBS Live. It's a lot more similar to OBS than Streamlabs OBS is. Streamlabs OBS makes it almost like its whole other software, but you still got some similarities. But I found OBS with Stream Elements combined, that pair, to be a lot more efficient for the computer, especially with a one PC setup. So it definitely works a lot better because you got all my overlay stuff is through the Stream Elements site or their server, and I just got the web link in the OBS, and so I don't have to have my computer process each element individually. They just process the video once it's loaded from the net all in one piece, and then you edit it from the web browser and Stream Elements, right? So it seems to be a lot more efficient and it's worked a lot better. But even with the camera settings, my video capture settings, which is built right into the Stream Elements OBS, like Streamlabs OBS has their built-in like settings for your video capture. Just those settings alone, I couldn't get like a wide view camera view in Streamlabs OBS. Maybe there's some hoops you got to jump through or something, but it wasn't working for me to get like a 1080p wide camera angle for like my just chatting when I do my game streams and stuff like that. And I had no problem with it in Stream Elements OBS. Also like my chroma key feels a lot cleaner. This is just default settings. I kind of got some little shadow on my shoulder, on this side, not this side, this side right here. I got a little shadow and stuff, but my hair a little bit kind of with in and out. But I've played around with my own custom settings on it, and I couldn't get it the quality to default. Streamlabs, I had to play with it a lot more just to get to where I am here with the default and Stream Elements. And I really didn't like the layout as much. I think Stream Elements has a better layout than OBS because they do have their own little tweak as far as your streamer info, your activity feed, and your chat windows. So I do like that better, but maybe not as much as Streamlabs OBS. But just technical wise, just the smoothness of the stream and the performance, I love it. Even the editing now, I've kind of got used to editing with the web browser and Stream Elements website stuff. The chat bots and stuff like that I think are really good too, and the alerts and all that stuff. I haven't really had like a really popping stream with the comment section and all that stuff yet, so I'll know more once I get to that point, which I also hopefully one day I can get to where I can have that 2 PC set up and not really even worry about it. Because I definitely want to go to, speaking in the game industry news, we'll talk about this as well, the 3000 NVIDIA series cards that are coming out. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about there. I don't want to make the podcast too long, so I'll just kind of run over as far as new graphics cards is really what fuels like gaming technology, right? It's pretty much, it's mainly about your graphics cards. Your video comes down to your graphics cards. There's other stuff we could talk about, processors. Obviously, you need a powerful processor. But I mean, even with my setup right now, I feel like if I had a bottleneck, it would be my graphics card. That's the only thing that I push, close to 100 or 100 sometimes is the graphics card. Most time I don't see my processor go, my CPU usage go over like 60%. My RAM usage maybe 60-70%. Still like not really that close to 100%. I got 16 gig RAM. I got 3700X Ryzen processor, and they seem fine. Like, I'm not really taxing it. Even when I'm streaming, I'm not really taxing them. But that GPU is so easy. Even with overclocking, overclock that bitch, everything. That motherfucker is gonna get hot unless you got some fucking water cooling and shit. And it's gonna have to lower your overclock, and it's gonna be 100% balls to the wall every time. Even now, I can't fuck with ray tracing and stuff, and I gotta have my settings like high to medium. I know some streamers and stuff, you look at their pro settings or whatever, they got their video settings on games like Fortnite, and they're running fucking 2080 Ti, no ray tracing, everything like on low. They're trying to push those high frames, of course, like 240. I'm only trying to push like 144, but I'm running at 2K. So I like that I can run at 2K. I'm good with 144. I'm not trying to compete, in esports and shit. And that's a lot more frames that I'm used to coming from consoles. So I'm good with that, even if I don't get but like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and multiplayer, I'll get like a little over 100, somewhere around there, because I got a lot of filters and all this shit in there too. But I'm good with, I want to stay like lowest is like in the 100, low hundreds is what I settle for. But I like to push for 144. That's why I got the 2K and 144 monitors and shit. But a lot of streamers, esports people and shit are pushing like 240. I think you can go up to like 360 frames now. But they're doing like 1080p, unless now with the new cards, I'm not sure. They might can do up to 2K or 4K, but it depends on how much frames they want to push. If they still want to get up to that 360, or they want to go to 240 frames, right? So, but now with the new consoles, we'll talk about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. It was a big, huge thing. They're talking about, oh, we're gonna go to like 4K or up to 8K resolutions, and we're gonna get 120 frames. But 120 frames is the max no matter what, and I know that's not for 8K. Maybe it's max for 4K, but what I've seen is it's the max 60 frames is the max at 4K, and maybe you drop the resolution down to like where I'm at, and you can get 120. So basically you're getting the performance of a 2070 Super, the most a 2080 Ti. And when you see streamers like 2080 Ti and they're running low settings, no ray tracing, that even leads to, are they going to have ray tracing on? Or maybe they do have ray tracing on and it's still 60 frames. Even 4K at 60 frames with ray tracing, that's great for single player experience, right? Just for like a campaigns, RPGs, shit like that. Like, that's great. I could probably push that now, like 60 frames. Like, I could fuck with some ray tracing and shit at 2K, and I'll be fine. I don't have a 4K monitor either, so then you gotta buy your 4K monitor, and you gotta get the frames per second that you want, the refresh rate that you want with that monitor, that TV. So it's just so much kind of stuff that I think a lot of people are being misled with the new consoles, thinking that 120 frames is the best fucking thing, and there's this huge fucking leap. They're just gonna they've caught up to computers, and they're fucking ahead of computers now because they got these fucking super speed SSDs, and the developers are gonna be concentrating developing for them, and they're gonna be more advanced in that fucking shit that's coming out for PC. But PC has just fucking blown them out of the water again with these 3000 series NVIDIA GPUs. We haven't really seen yet what AMD has as far as how their GPUs are going to compare with Nvidia, but they've said that they were going to release their presentations and stuff before the consoles came out. In fact, I thought their cards were coming out before their consoles came out too. So they should be releasing some stuff soon. Their processors, new generations are coming out. The 4000 or 5000 series. I want to say it's the 4000 series. I've seen some other kind of number with a 16 core AMD. I don't know if it was like a 54 or some shit, but I want to say it's 4000 series. We already have some stuff with the new Intel processors. They're going to kick ass too. Like, PCs are leaving like the 100 frames per second shit way behind. They're going to 200s. Like, it's probably going to be the new standard. And then 300 is going to be where you want to hit frames per second if you're competing, especially for like esports and shit. And then 2K is going to be probably like the minimum for PC. And then 4K is that mid tier. And then probably 8K is going to be where you shoot for with like really better quality shit. Like, consoles are only going to be barely touched at 8K. And maybe they're doing upscaling and a whole bunch of other shit to get there, where PCs, you're going to be able to reach it. But that being said, I see where the hype is for consoles because of the price. Like, all the shit that I'm talking about, how powerful these PCs are and all these fucking GPUs and all this shit. Any one single part of your fucking PC setup will cost the price of the whole fucking console. Now, TV wise and monitor wise, it's the same, right? If you're gonna shoot for that frame resolution, we're talking about a monitor or TV wise, it's the same if you're buying it for a console or for a PC. Although I don't see too many people buying TVs for their console, and monitors seem to be more expensive than the TV, so maybe in that respect. But console or TV or a monitor TV, you can go with either one for your equipment. But as far as you get these GPUs and the fucking price gouging and shit, which hopefully that doesn't creep into the console market, and that these motherfuckers aren't going to try to buy them all up these holiday season and gouge the shit out of the PS5s and Xboxes. Who knows? But with the GPUs, the bullshit that's going on, the 2000 series GPUs still haven't gone down in price. I've seen some manufacturers said they were going to cut their prices in half on 2070s and 2080s and shit. So they should be down like under 500 easy. But my GPU that I have now is still like $500-$600 easy if it's not price gouged on Amazon or wherever else you want to look. But the equivalent to that in the 3000 series, you can't find it, or it's $1,000 and above. I mean, the 3070 hasn't been released I know of, but the 3070's the minimum, the smallest one, right, of the 3000 series, and I'm sure it's pushing 1,000. And so if you want to go for like the max, like the 3090, you're probably looking at double. It's crazy. It's way above what you're going to pay for a console, and that's not even the whole PC. You still, if you're buying the parts individually, you're going to pay a few $100s for the motherboard. You're going to pay, a few $100 for the processor. And then you got to buy your Windows, or maybe you just get the free copy of Windows and you don't unlock it, or whatever the fuck you do. The fucking hard drive, it's expensive as hell. I see these people make these budget PC builds, but now what we're talking about, trying to run ray tracing, these higher resolutions, these higher frames, you're not going to hit that with these budget things. So that's why I see why, there's the hype about the consoles and what they're doing for the price. But make no mistake, like, the PC Master Race is like, that shit is far from over. And I didn't go to PC because of the PC Master Race. And as a console player, I was always like, man, fuck the PC Master Race. But that shit is fucking real. Just if you got the money to fuck with it. For me, I'm glad where I'm at. Probably what I have now going into, the years to come is going to be considered a budget setup. When I came into it, it was a mid-tier setup. But that's where eventually, I'll definitely look to upgrade. Probably a year for now, at least. I'll at least start saving up money to start getting into it. If I don't upgrade in a year, at least start putting towards something to upgrade in the next year or two for sure. But I'm glad where I'm at, and I've been able to get my foot in the door. We got our last thing, y'all. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna get with this esports news, right? Well, kind of been holding off. Yeah, so we talk about my boy Hex, notorious in the esports community, buying back his company or his esports organization name that he made a name for himself with Optic, right? And now selling that spot, I guess, selling it to 100 Thieves. Love it, because I love the 100 Thieves organization. I love Nadeshot and his story and when he came from playing as a young kid. He looked like a young kid when he played for Optic, and winning the COD championship with them, and getting the when they did the X Games medal that he got, bruh. And they don't even play in X Games no more. They don't have the COD tournament, COD championship with X Games, but that shit was badass. And I love how he's made a name for himself and how he got his own organization and shit, and how everything played out with them. But 100 Thieves, they recently pulled out of CSGO, so they don't have a CSGO team anymore. And they already, prior to that, had already set up a Valorant team, which they've had a lot of changes with their roster, and they seem like they finally settled on some big names to go into there with Hiko. And now they got their COD team again. They haven't been in there since COD's been doing these franchise teams in certain cities, so it looks like now they're gonna have LA Thieves. But when they were competing in COD prior to that, I want to say they did win a championship, and they were pretty big on the scene. So hopefully, especially with Nadeshot's background and him wanting to, hopefully building on that legacy, they'll have to put a good team together, hopefully keep it interesting. And I definitely look forward to tracking a lot more and watching some more stuff live, streamed, or if I have the opportunity to go to an event one day, I would definitely love to do it and watch some more COD esports. But yeah, it's just entertaining, man. They got a lot of action in there going on, and the skills that these jokers have that I'll never be able to attain. It's fun to watch them, operate on that level. So we'll see what's popping, continually going forward esports, and Chicago Huntsmen and LA Thieves, and see what happens, with Call of Duty. See what happens with Fortnite esports and how that kind of develops. It seems to definitely be more in, like, Fortnite esports hasn't, I guess they have been around a lot less time than COD esports, but COD esports with the franchises, is pretty new, and it seems to be developing at a better pace than Fortnite esports. So hopefully Epic, gets it together or puts some more resources into that, or maybe they just don't really care and they're good with it being a long-lasting thing amongst the casual community, which I can't complain about because I'm part of that community. And I'm not really into more the esports scene, or probably never will, because I don't plan to operate on that skill level. I'm just fun with knocking out challenges and shit, and just sharing in the commentary with the community. But we'll keep tracking on those type of things. I really focus on these games right now because of the live service thing that they have going on, and just the way they keep the games updated and fresh. I feel like that future potential is always there to be involved with them, and it's something that's entertaining and fun with me. But when I talk about covering more games, I definitely look forward to covering other things on the side as well, along with these more live service oriented games. Like we got the Cyberpunk 2077 coming up next month. We also got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I got both of those games pre-ordered. I'll be fucking with them. And then we got Black Ops, of course, the new Call of Duty, all in the same time period, right? Like in the middle of November. It's gonna be crazy. But I'm having fun with that. And y'all look back and holler at me. Put Mr. Stuff in comments. Hit me with a like. Hit me with subscribe. And J Mob Gaming out.